And we're live too. There we go. All right.
Rock and roll.
You ready to rock?
Let's do it.
Patrick, Alex, great to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Vidal, president of Related ISG International Realty and host of the show you are watching today, Inquiring Minds Want to Know. And to my right, we are sitting with the CEO of PHP Agency and host of Valuetainment, one of the largest YouTube channels with over 1 million subscribers, Patrick Bet-David. Patrick, again, thank you so much for having us. For having me in your office. I'll try to maybe show people when we're done. This guy is a beast. I flew all the way to Dallas to interview with Patrick. Before we get started, if you like today's interview, please click the like button, click the share button, click the love button. But like I just said, share it. And again, today's interview is being brought to you by Related ISG International Realty. If you want to work with the brokerage that is connected to some of the biggest real estate players and business people, not only in the country or in Miami, but in the entire country, call me, text me, email me, DM me. Come work for the best. And here we go. You ready? We got a short window. Here we go. We got 7 questions for you.
Do it.
All right. From your childhood escaping war, and by the way, because I know I've watched a lot of your podcasts and you like to preface your interviews before, we're going to talk a little bit about your story and mindset and motivation, and then get into specific questions about leadership, sales, and social media. Cool?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. From your childhood escaping war-torn Iran with your parents to the studio, where we were in the studio, now we're in your office, where you stand as leader of one of, if not the largest insurance agencies in the country. Tell us a little bit about your path to how we're here today.
A lot from the path of where I was to being here today, for me it's all accidental. I mean, it was born in Iran, lived in Germany, refugee camp 2 years, came to the States, 6 years in Glendale, California, went to the Army 2 years, lived in South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, got out, wanted to be a bodybuilder, met a girl who worked in the financial industry. She was at Morgan Stanley. I started working at Morgan Stanley day before 9/11. Then I went to Transamerica for 7.5 years. And then October of 2009, I decided to start PHP Agency. Okay. And from there, PHP Agency grew from 66 agents day one to now 8,700. By next week, we'll be at 8,800 agents.
And that's countrywide?
In 49 states, yes. And we sell anywhere between 4,000 to 6,000 insurance policies a month. And so that transition, like nothing in my background said Pat's going to be in the financial industry. 1.8 GPA in high school, nothing crazy in school. I've never won at anything in life from the day I was born until joining the military, nothing. I was never state champion, never baseball, football, scholarship, nothing. I've never played organized sports, nothing. So you couldn't pinpoint something to say this guy's one day going to win. But one day my dad had a heart attack, and my dad's my hero. My dad's, today's the best friend in my life. And I went to the hospital and I said, he wasn't feeling too good. He had a massive heart attack, and they weren't treating him too good, and I was lost. I was furious. I got kicked out of the hospital, went downstairs, cried in my car for 30 straight minutes, and the next day, no one recognized me. Shift took place. I went from having loopy eyes that all they did is focus on partying, clubbing, what are we doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Laser beam focused, and things changed. So it was one event, obviously a lot of events together that created this fuel in me, and then one event of my dad, possibly losing my dad, that created this combustion of ambition to want to go do something.
Wow. If you guys can feel his energy, it's intense. I love it. I really love your energy. Now, you have an amazing video called The Life of an Entrepreneur in 90 Seconds, and we didn't preface these questions, by the way, so we're on the fly. In that video, you talked about wanting to quit every day, okay, but you didn't. What system or habits do you have in place that got you out of bed every morning to keep fighting the fight?
So it's two ways, right? One is vision of what's possible, and the other one is pain of if I don't do anything the rest of my life, I have to look at my friends, relatives, former co-workers, bosses who said nothing would ever happen, the guys at Bally Total Fitness, a guy named Jose or Robbie who said, you're wasting your time, you're spending too much time with people that think it's you're a dreamer at Bally's, you're going to one day make 150 and have the best career. Why would you ever want to go out there and chase these guys? Making millions is not that easy. I was either going to live the crusade, the vision that I had in my mind, or I was going to go out there and have to answer to everybody on why I quit. And one created urgency, the other one created enthusiasm. Combined together, why would I quit? I mean, the alternative is I just don't want to live that life. Quitting to me is like almost living a life with no purpose. There's no purpose of me living. What for? To add to another person in the 7 billion population? I don't want to contribute towards a statistic. I want to contribute towards a community that sits there and says, if this guy can do it, I can do it as well. I'm not fascinated by just helping out other stats that Bureau of Labor Statistics needs to come out with, or any of that stuff. No. So for me, pain, vision, enthusiasm combined together work that well.
Awesome. Now, it's funny, Tim Ferriss has a great video, TED Talk, talks about fear and overcoming fear. And one of the things is, if you don't change, what does your life look like? And if that's the life you want to live, then don't change. If you want to change it, Now, you are a true rags to riches story. If you search online, you have a net worth pegged over 70 million, 70. If anyone has a reason at this point to just coast and enjoy life, it's you. Yet you're particularly passionate about the need for every person to pursue their desires, and you're even quoted as saying most of the greatest world changers and heroes of all time are at the graveyard, undiscovered, because they never sold out to their dreams and desires. Where is that fire coming from to move and push all these people forward?
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, it goes back to like when you sit down and ask yourself the question, like, okay, so one of the best exercises is just try to block off everybody out of your life. Like the person you try to impress the most, the person you're afraid of the most, the person that you feel like you can never please, the parent that you have an animosity towards, your mom or your dad, or the ex that broke your heart, or the ex that you broke their heart, or the friend that talks shit about you, or the competitor that wants to put you out of business. Take everybody out for a second. You got to sit down and have a conversation with yourself and say, what life do you want to live? There's two questions that we all have to answer. What life do you want to live, and who you want to be? Okay? If who you want to be is that crystal clear to you, and it drives you and it excites you, you're going to go get it done. If the life you want to live is something that excites you, that you want to experience it, then you're going to go live it. For me, I am so fascinated by capacity. I am so fascinated by capacity. And when I say capacity, it's my capacity. I want to know what the best version of PBD looks like. I want to know how he talks, how he thinks, how he lives, how he decides, how he processes issues, how he loves, how he cares, how he gets upset, how he treats people. I want to know that guy. What is the best version of me? What does my capacity look like? And what kind of contribution can I make to the world? If you see that painting to your left, the one I'm looking at, I had that painting commissioned this year for a guy locally who did it. You got Einstein to the left, and you got John F. Kennedy, Lincoln, Tupac, myself, Ayrton Senna, the Shah of Iran, Milton Friedman, and MLK. And then if you look at the book right in the middle, there's two books that they have on the desk. One is Communist Manifesto, the other one is Atlas Shrugged. These are two books that are polar opposite, that they have a different argument. One argument on Communist Manifesto, rich people are bad people, right? The other one, Atlas Shrugged, poor people are lazy, and rich people just want to be left alone. Leave me alone, let me go build my life. That is the biggest clash of two philosophies coming together. So why create content like Valuetainment? Why am I doing this? I mean, it's not like I'm making money. I've spent $1.5 million on Valuetainment last year, and YouTube doesn't pay you that much money. Today, by the way, they gave a report today on the highest paid YouTuber. Did you hear the news or no?
Was it the kid that gets 22 million?
22 million, a 7-year-old, right? Gets 22 million a year. He's got one video with 1.3 billion views. Okay, one video with 1.3 billion views.
And he's 7.
And he's 7. That's what's crazy about it, right?
I have twin 8-year-olds. I may have to get him on YouTube.
That's right? But for me, like, that excites me. That's a story of capitalism. The reason why I do Valuetainment is because I believe the world's a better place with more entrepreneurs, with more creators, and with more people that have ideas that want to produce and build something. And there needs to be a platform. There's a lot of countries that don't have access to things like this, that agree with capitalism, that agree with entrepreneurship. So for us to be able to talk about this and give ideas where someone in an underground VPN cable access to YouTube in Cuba or North Korea or the Middle East that's watching Valuetainment says, oh my gosh, what if I become an entrepreneur? Why is our government system like this? Why are we doing this? That gives me hope that we're going in a direction where the entrepreneur is still going to be alive 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. And
by the way, you reference capacity a lot, and you just released on Valuetainment a video about capacity. I think I've watched it 3 or 4 different times. It really is an amazing video. Let's talk leadership and sales. We'll start with leadership, whether it's an insurance agency like PHP or a real estate brokerage like me, or maybe even somebody wanting to create a sales team. What are the must-have qualities that every leader must have, and is there a place where they can go and build on those qualities?
Every great leader must have? Okay, so leadership is two things, right? One is your example, the other one is get people to do things that they wouldn't do on their own, right? So one is your example, check, you need that, and the other one is getting others to do things that they wouldn't do on their own. Okay, so what is a great quality of a leader? Let's just say you got the first one, right? I'm looking at my phone right now because exactly what you just said is what I just did today.
Okay.
I sent a text message to a guy and I said, do you realize the importance of you walking into the Million Point Base shop as a calendar Million Point Base shop? That's a very big thing to do in the business. In our company, we have 6 people that did it this year. He says, I believe I do. I said, then where's your urgency? Not there. Why? He's just responding right now while I'm talking to you. I don't know what his response is. I'm going to read it here in a minute. I think great leaders are also great at asking the right questions that gets you to think about the most important things that helps you take action and move. I think too many times weak leaders make statements. I think great leaders ask questions. Leadership is about asking questions. You know, I'll sit there and talk to my kid and I'll say, can you tell me why you did that? Tell me how you feel about this. Why did you do this? What do you think about that? What do you think about what just happened right there? You know, what caused this? And you see them doing one of these things, they're thinking, right? Great leaders know how to get people to start thinking about their next move. And if you kind of know how to, like music, if you put the questions good together, then you have perfection. Because it's leading towards a direction you want to go, but you're doing it based on the questions you're asking to get them there, right? And then all of a sudden, I never thought about it that way. Then boom, why are we not doing it? What happens if you do take action? So I think leadership is about the right questions you ask. And then the other part is, the sooner I know what you want out of life, and I find different layers of carrots. A carrot could be a 30-day carrot. If we do this in the next 30 days, you get this. Another carrot may be a year carrot. Can you imagine a year from now if you can get X, Y, Z? And another carrot is a long-term carrot, 10, 20-year carrot. The 10, 20-year carrot doesn't necessarily get a person to move today, but the 10, 20-year carrot gets a person to not want to give up. The 30-day carrot gets me to be able to move you today. The 1-year carrot gets me to be able to have you finish off the year and stay focused for the entire year at least. So I think you gotta ask the right questions, you gotta have the right carrots, and you gotta be in the re-game. Leadership is all about re-energize, re-remind, rekindle. Everything is re. It's constantly in the re-game, and you cannot ever get tired of re-reminding, of rekindling, of re-energizing. Everything is re. Sometimes you hear leaders that say things like, you know what, I'm just so sick and tired of being a real estate broker, man. I prefer being a real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent. I know I can close. I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to go make my $300 grand a year. I'm being a real estate broker. I'm making $1,800 on override off this guy. I feel like I'm babysitting. I'm so sick and tired of working with this guy. He's annoying, not coachable, lazy, full of it, telling me he's running appointments. He's not. I can't do it anymore, right? I cannot do it anymore. Well, yeah, you're right, because you're just not a good leader. You know, in the game of leadership, it's pretty annoying. Yeah. But if you're able to make those adjustments about becoming a leader, the rewards are priceless. There's not a single industry in the world. Any industry, any team, any organization that's excelling, you better bet there's a leader behind closed doors that you don't know about that's driving the entire sales force or the entire organization. Everything rises and falls on leadership.
Yeah, it's funny, you talk about that drive. My wife looks at me all the time. She says, you know, if you go back into sales, I'm 40. So I have a 21-year-old son. That's why I got into real estate. I started with Mike Pappas, who's the owner of the largest real estate company in Florida, as his secretary. And I went up. My wife goes, you know, if you go into sales, you'll make more money than you are as the president of the company. I'm like, but that doesn't drive me. That doesn't move me. The rewarding effort, or the reward that you get from motivating the troops, is so much more rewarding than just getting a check sometimes. It really is. It drives me big time.
And by the way, leadership must be important to you to lead. If it is, you'll do it.
Yeah. And you'll take the shots. You'll take the bullets.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So let's transition to sales now. Great salespeople are great at sales, period. It really doesn't matter what they're selling. I think, you know, real estate is just the car that they're driving, right? What are the common denominators that you see among some of the best salespeople you've ever encountered?
Same thing, questions. I mean, there used to be a encyclopedia company back in the days that they would say encyclopedia. And so what they did is they had 48 questions.
Okay.
And they would give the rookie sales guy, go to their house, ask them these 48 questions. And if you ask them these 48 questions, 3 out of 10 times they buy. But just follow the script. So guys would go in the field and they would say, is this your home? Yes. Boom. So is this the city you live in? Yes. Okay, nice. You think knowledge is important? Yes. 48 questions. After 47 yes questions, the last question is, do you think you would benefit from having the 24 edition encyclopedia in your home for your kids and to also increase knowledge? Yes. Perfect. Here's the options. And then they would sell the encyclopedia to the people. I think if you're a salesperson versus a sales leader, it's two different things. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm a salesperson, solo, I'm a realtor, I'm a pharmaceutical salesman, I'm an insurance agent, financial advisor, I do mortgages, I do whatever. I don't have to be duplicatable. I can use my personality, my charisma, my charm, my looks. If I'm a drop-dead gorgeous girl, 36, 24, 36, beautiful lips, beautiful eyes, beautiful hair, nice skin, gentle, good voice, calm, I can probably sell off my looks. If I'm a good-looking guy, I can sell off my looks. If I have presence, I can sell off my charm. But if I'm a sales leader, the mindset is completely different than a salesperson. When you're a sales leader, you have to think about things you're teaching that a 4 can do, not a 9. Anybody can get a 9 to do well in sales. I mean, you're not doing anything special. But a great sales leader is a person that knows how to get a 4 to perform at a level of 8. So if I can get a 4 who starts selling based on a set of scripts, mindset, schedule, how to go find the clients, where to prospect, where to network, what things to ask, what things to send, how to treat them well, relationships, gifts, cards, birthday, anniversary, getting deeper in the relationship and all that. If that person, a 4, is willing to implement my strategies, and if I can get a guy that's never made more than $50,000 to start making $600,000, I'm a good sales leader. But that's why it's such a different mindset. A sales guy or sales girl, saleswoman, you can use your charm, personality, and nowadays make $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 just by how you are. I'm more interested in creating the system in a format where anybody can use the scripts, anybody can use the system, anybody can use the strategies, and go make a multi-6, multi-7-figure year income based on these strategies, no matter what your personality and charisma is. That's what I'm interested in.
Have you thought of coming out with your own sales training? Like, I know Brad Lee's coming out with one, Grant Cardone has one.
Yeah. So, I mean,
that's not even on here, but.
Yeah, so I have a 40-page sales course that I've typed out. So I have it. And I've been meaning to shoot it and put it up for the last year. We haven't done it. All I need is 3 days to go shoot and put it up. But let me give you my schedule today. I'm sitting with you today, right? This morning, Michael Francis is here. Michael Francis is right now shooting. Michael Francis is the former mobster.
I met him, actually.
So you met him, yeah. So you met him. So he's here right now. I got an AIG meeting tomorrow. I got my board meeting here this week. I have every single insurance carrier that's come in every year that I do the meeting, and I treat them and I spoil them. I take it, and they don't pay for nothing. I pay for them, and I unveil our vision, our numbers on what we're going to be doing in 2019 and how we ended up in 2018. Next week, I'm taking nearly 200 people to Palm Springs at the biggest house, and I'm having my week strategy session to kick off for the following year, 2019. We're nonstop going, right? But the sales course I put up, I'm going to get deep into exactly what I'm talking to you about, because that's all I ever think about. When I came in and I started selling, I was trying to be so flashy and flamboyant and trying to impress everybody. Oh my gosh, look at Patrick. And then I started deciding to go from being a sales guy to a sales leader. I'm like, oh, people are enamored by me. Look at this. But shit, no one's selling. So what are you really doing right? Nothing. Who cares if people are impressed by me if the guys are not selling? I said, wrong strategy. Take a step back. What do you do that's duplicatable? What behavior do you have that's duplicatable? Only focus on teaching that moving forward. So my entire MO and my entire mindset changed. I'm no longer trying to impress you. I am trying to get you to believe you can be me. That's my only mindset. If I can get you to do what I do and believe that if you do what I do, you get my results, I win. So that's how I take a guy who's a bill collector to making $750,000 this year. That's how I take a guy from El Salvador, doesn't speak any English, move him to Houston, he makes $800,000 this year. That's how I take a Marine and I work with them and they make over $1 million this year. Because it's not about, look how impressive this person is. A sales leader has to put all their attention and emphasis on basic fundamentals that are transferable knowledge to somebody else. Okay. The more you do that, the bigger the successful sales organization you build.
Man, you gave me on my flight home, I already got all these things racing through my head that you're talking about.
By the way, watch when you do it, look what happens. I'm being serious with you.
Sure.
When you do this exercise on the flight home and you make a list, what habit do I have that's not duplicatable? You can't teach that anymore. What habit do I have that's duplicatable? Make a list of, look how many this will come up with that's duplicatable, okay? Make a list going down. 20 pages, you'll keep writing them. Whether you do it with the iPhone, your iPad, or a paper pen, right? Type. I use a script. Anybody can do this. I do this. Anybody. I show up at 8 o'clock, leave at 8 o'clock. And anybody can do this. I work on Saturdays. I do this. Anybody can. I have this habit. I network. I send gifts. Anybody can do this. Things that I do that anybody can do, and I start teaching this the next 3 months. You will be blown away by what your 2019 is going to look like.
Related ISG, watch out. There's a lot coming your way. All right, let's talk social media. You have a monster YouTube channel, Valuetainment, which we reference. Here it is right here. It's got he just hit 1 million subscribers. Great job, man.
Oh, man, thank you.
And one of the common themes that I hear over and over again is YouTube is the way to go. So what's the best way to start a YouTube channel? What are some keys to great content? And how do you get to 1 million subscribers?
Yeah, I mean, so here's what you got to realize. We made about 1 million subs right now. Our first year we had 500 subs. Our second year we had 1,600 subs. So in the first 2 years we are at 2,100 subs. No one knows who we are, but here's what happened. So I got to a point where the first thing I do, like the most important thing for me is the following, and I'm very comfortable with this. So for instance, I want to bodybuild, right? I have to go and see if my physique is a physique that can win Mr. Olympia. I'm not trying to be Arnold Classic. I'm not trying to be a pro. I don't want to just get my pro card. Does my physique have what it takes to compete for Mr. Olympia? It's the first question I asked. Does it have it? So I looked at it and I said, no, you don't, because you're 6'3.5". No Mr. Olympia has ever been 6'3.5". Today, if you're 6'3.5", you're going to have to carry 370 pounds off season, a lot of pressure on your heart, your knees, your back, and you're going to have to be on all these other things to put on more weight, and your drop off is going to be from 375 to 280 to want to compete. And 280, your calves, your thighs, your legs, you're going to be fine with your upper body. I don't know if you can compete for number one. You can probably go and compete on Mr. O if you really go all out. Discipline was the key for me. That's bodybuilding is not for me. So then I went into financial service. I said, let me see if I can compete with other people in a marketplace. And how well can I compete? I said, wait a minute, I think I can compete here. Then I got a feel that I could compete with others for the top spot in financial services and insurance. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Then I kept asking, can I compete at a higher level, and a higher level, and a higher level, and a higher level? So where's this going with YouTube? 2 years into doing YouTube, I asked myself, do we actually have a product that people are interested in? I'm the product. Is there something that value is being brought? So then I sat down and said, what's your strategy? We're going a million different places, Patrick. What are you talking about? Like all over the place. We changed our strategy. A lot of people are not using my strategy. They think this is a bad strategy, and it's fine. I changed my YouTube channel away from my name. Matter of fact, if you go watch the last 200 videos I've put up, you will not hear me say my name one time.
Okay.
If you go back and watch a video and you say, hi, I'm Patrick Bedeva, host of Valuetainment, you won't hear it. You won't hear it. I don't brand my name. I brand Valuetainment. Some say that's not the right way to do it, because why are you not branding Patrick Bedeva? You should be branding Patrick Bedeva. If my content's great enough and you want to know what my name is, you're going to find out what my name is. You'll go figure that part out. Then we came out with Valuetainment. With Valuetainment, the one word that we wanted to produce content around was the word entrepreneur. So that's what we're going to talk about. So everything about Valuetainment became entrepreneurship. Okay. And then that developed into Valuetainment, the channel going from 2,000 subs to 100,000 subs to 500,000 subs to now over 1 million subs. Where now in the last 2-3 weeks, we got 50,000 subs, right, in a couple weeks. And now we're averaging 60,000 subs per month. We did not have that before, but we got very specific. My challenge to anybody watching this, one, whether it's YouTube, whether it's podcasts, whether it's blog, you got to start one of the three on creating content. Let me explain to you why. You're either a great writer, which you should write a blog. You're either a great audio, which you should do podcasts, or you have a voice and you want to show things, then you do YouTube, right? Here's why you got to create content today. Anything and everything you're doing today, if you don't create content, somebody else is going to tell the world who you are. The more you create content today and tell the world what you're thinking about, the world is going to know who you are, because all they have to do is go to your website, go to your blog, go to your podcast, go to your videos on YouTube to find out who you are. So yes, I believe YouTube is the future, but somebody may not be a video person. Somebody may be a writer. And there's still plenty of platforms of people that are killing it purely writing blogs. For me, the platform I chose was YouTube, and it ended up working out for me. But you are right, when you go in the future, I mean, nowadays cable TV's here, you watch fights here, you watch movies here, you do everything on this here. It's no longer on cable television. I consume more content here than I do any other place in the world, and that's YouTube.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Couple last questions. Okay?
Sure.
Lightning round. I know they're waving you down. I know you're busy. One daily habit to change your life for the better. Lightning round.
Trends. Study trends. Study trends. Study everything that you're doing, that, you know, the cause and effect. I do this, it causes this. Every day I study trends.
Okay. Now, I was going to ask you a breakthrough moment that changed your life. Obviously, that was your father with the heart attack.
No doubt.
Harder to make, your first million or to go from $1 million to 10 million?
$1 million to 10 million. Easy. Yeah.
That was harder?
No, way easier.
Oh, way easier.
Way
so
easier.
First million was the hardest?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Got it. True or false? No matter how much tech gets involved in our life, people skills will always remain a main skill set.
No matter how much tech
gets involved in our daily life, the people skills will always be a main skill set.
It all depends on the industry.
Okay. Sales. Let's talk about what we do. Real estate, life insurance.
Okay, so think about it this way. I'll explain it to you. Property. Do you have an auto insurance policy?
I do.
Did you buy it from a person or online?
My wife did both. She started with Geico, then she had questions, so then she called Geico.
But did she ever meet the agent?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you bought an auto insurance policy for somebody face to face?
Probably never.
Think about what you said. No, it's not never. Probably 20 years ago, 15 years ago. If you really think about it, like, so where am I going with this? Once they passed a law that you have to have an auto insurance policy, or else you get a ticket or you get your license suspended, we started having to buy auto insurance. There was a time not a lot of people had auto insurance when they were driving cars. So now we don't have to go sit with an insurance agent. We go online and we buy an auto insurance policy. So a robot does that. You don't need people skills to sell that, right? So you go and buy a plane ticket. You don't need a human being anymore. You don't need personality and relationships, right? If real estate goes the direction it's going right now, you're still going to need people skills, because that's still the direction we're going to right now. We're not yet at a point where people are going to look at a house without a human being being there. We're not there yet. And so I think that the answer to that question is it depends on the industry. Because it may change for a lot of industries.
Last question. Book, TED Talk, or podcast recommendation? Aside from Valuetainment, obviously. Anything that you would read, a book, or something that you would recommend?
I mean, I think the best podcaster out there is, hands down, is Joe Rogan. I mean, it's just, he's interesting, he's funny, he's brilliant, he's a man's man. He pushes all the arguments, whether he likes and agrees or disagrees with it or not. He's very fair. That's podcast number one, Joe Rogan. TED Talks, I don't watch a lot of TED Talks, but I'm sure there's some good ones out there. And then you said books.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you a recent book. I suggest reading The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. It's a phenomenal book he wrote. Any book Robert Greene, I was speaking to him yesterday. He wrote the book 40 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of War, Mastery, 50th Law, Laws of Human Nature, Art of Seduction. Read any one of his books. Not a big fan of 50th Law, but any one of the books outside of that one, you will not be disappointed with.
Okay, there you go. Now, I'm going to do something, Patrick, I haven't done yet. I wear a pin in every interview, okay? This pin, everybody thinks is the Florida Gator. It's my company mascot. I opened a staff meeting once and I said, guys, if you want to work here, you need 3 things. You need alligator skin because things are going to bounce off of you. You need roller skates because we move fast. And you need coffee because we don't sleep. When I did that, I wrote it down. I was like, oh man, what do I want to do with that? I want to do something with it. I wasn't quite sure. So I am a Gator fan, but the University of Miami was playing. They came out with the turnover chain. I know you're a big sports guy. And, so you see these college kids on defense going crazy for the turnover chain. And I'm not a chain of a fan. I think it's kind of just not my style. Mm-hmm. And they were rewarding specific activity. But we ended up, that's where I got the idea. I said, you know what? We hired a graphic artist. We designed the pin. And we give it to somebody who embodies our culture. Because our company's all about creating raving fans and being part of something bigger than just yourself. And when I was setting up this interview, I was so stoked for this interview. You have no idea. but you're a part of something bigger than just yourself. You really want to empower. You embody our culture. I have never given it to anybody outside of our company. But you can throw it on your desk, you can throw it away. I don't know, but I learned this from your video with Mark Cuban. I want to give you our pin, because our pin is all about being a part of something bigger than just yourself. One's in full color, so when you wear a color suit, the other one's silver, so if you wear a black suit.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for that. I know I have a lot of respect for rituals, a lot of respect for culture, and especially something like this that means a lot to your company, for you to give it to me without me being part of the organization. I love it. I applaud you. Thank you so much,
Patrick. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
brother.
Guys, like I said, if you like today's interview, like it, love it. Most importantly, share it. People got to hear this guy's message. Patrick, thanks for having me out. I'm heading to the airport now, back to Miami. I'll see you guys soon. And Patrick, I'm going to go around if you want to say anything. Parting words of wisdom?
Parting words of wisdom. Get clear on what you want before 2019.
There you go.